All right, welcome back to Wmma Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a UFC fight review. So we're going all the way to Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates for UFC Fight Night, Whittaker versus Till. We're going to the main card. We're going to my favorite UFC division, the Strawweights. Carla, the Cookie Monster Esparza, coming in 16-6, taking on Marina Rodriguez, coming in 12-0-2. So first round, Rodriguez, she came out and employed a low stance, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Trying to, looking out for the takedown. She kept Esparza out on the edge of her strikes for a little bit, but at about the first, 40-second mark, Esparza got her first takedown. Surprisingly, a lot of people talk about Esparza being a blanket, but she was very active with her ground and pound in this round and throughout the fight. However, Rodriguez was also active from her back with strikes, busted a cut open over Esparza's left eye and swelled it up a little bit with one elbow. And then Esparza had a brain fart, a little over a minute left. She goes for an ankle lock. Huge mistake there because it allowed Rodriguez to start punching her in the face and get back up. To me, I think that lost her the round. Lost Esparza the round. Second round. Now, Rodriguez was keeping Esparza at range at first, but she wasn't really landing much. Rodriguez is a slow starter, and she wasn't able to get going at all in the first, so really her slow start had to come a little bit in the second. Esparza, however, was able to get her second takedown a little less than 2 minutes in. Both were busy with ground strikes again. And then you have Esparza going for a second ankle lock attempt. This time it was maybe 20 seconds left, and again failed. So they go back to the corners, and Wmma, Esparza's head coach, told her to knock it off with the ankle lock. It's not working for her. So they come out for the third. I thought this was definitely the better start for Rodriguez. She was landing more strikes in this round. Esparza actually failed her first takedown attempt, but she had Rodriguez against the fence and landed some nice strikes there. Probably her best strikes of the entire fight. She did get a takedown, however, at about the 2-minute mark. Got to half guard from the takedown, but Rodriguez was able to get back to guard. I definitely thought that Esparza had the heavier ground and pound this round. There was a short triangle attempt by Rodriguez. Rodriguez was able to get up towards the end of the round, but then Esparza got her back down again and basically ended the round in side control over Rodriguez, landing some short elbows. Went to the judges. The judges gave it to your victor, Carla Esparza, via split decision. One judge saw it 29-28 Rodriguez. One judge saw it 29-28 Esparza. One judge saw it 30-27 Esparza. So weird scoring, but if you ask me, the correct fighter won. Now, I'll admit, I picked Rodriguez. If you saw my preview video for this, I picked Rodriguez to win, but I was cheering for Esparza, so I was happy. Either way, I guess I'd have been happy. A lot of people are mad, saying, how did Esparza win walking out with her face looking like that? Okay, listen. Superficial damage from a single round does not win you an entire fight. All the damage to Esparza's face was done in the first round. That doesn't give her the next 2 rounds, Rodriguez, the next 2 rounds automatically. I'm sorry. There's more to a fight than just damage. Even though it's technically the first criteria now, it's not the only criteria. Esparza controlled the fight. And I don't mean controlled as in just had Rodriguez on her back the whole time. I mean, she basically controlled where the fight went for the majority of the fight. She had the dominant position most of the fight. That's how she won. I thought it was good advice from Wmma to give up the ankle lock. Probably some of the best coaching advice I've heard in a long time. Basically came in and said, hey, knock it off. So she did in the third round. And here's, my final note for the fight overall. And this is frustrating to me. So you have Marina Rodriguez, who obviously is a one-dimensional fighter, has 0 takedown defense, can't really get back up off the ground, doesn't really have submissions off her back. So how do you have a one-dimensional fighter? And she was ranked at number 9 coming into this fight. How do you have a top 10 fighter that is that one-dimensional? obviously she was rushed into the top 10. She got that win over Tisha Torres and automatically took a top 10 spot from that. That was really rushing a fighter into the top 10. And I'm going to do a follow-up video talking all about how a lot of fighters are really getting rushed up the rankings lately. Anyway, for things to work on, for Esparza, she needs to ditch those low percentage submissions. Work on going for submissions that work best off of her wrestling base. Arm triangle chokes, rear naked chokes, key locks, although those are low percentage anymore. Arm bars, upper body submissions. Don't be going for ankle locks anymore. They're not, you're this far in your career, don't start going for stuff that's not going to work for you. And definitely don't go for it in a fight just because you worked on it in camp one time. That's ridiculous. She also needs to work on passing guard. You know, I think she was way too content to just hang out in Rodriguez's guard. Now, granted, Rodriguez was also doing a lot to keep Esparza at either at a distance with her long legs and body, or she was, you know, keeping Esparza choked down tight. So it was a little hard for her to try to pass the guard, but Esparza definitely could have worked harder to pass the guard. Now for Rodriguez, okay, first off, you got to ditch that low stance. Okay, she comes out with this low stance, hoping to basically anticipating the takedown attempts and hoping that's going to help. But when you're a long, rangy fighter, your best your best defense against the takedowns is to keep the fighter outside of the best range for the takedowns. Use your length, use your distance. You adopt a low crouch like that, you're taking away your best tool. Alexa Grasso does the same thing every time she faces a wrestler, and then she gets taken down. That low stance for someone who is primarily a striker is not going to work. Also, a couple of her kicks got caught by Esparza because she wasn't setting them up. Now that is a Muay Thai thing, where they just throw those low kicks out. But she's got to start setting those kicks up, hiding them behind punches. Otherwise, anyone's going to see them coming, and they're going to either check them or catch them and go for the takedown. So she's got to start setting up those low kicks better. Also, don't be content to just lie out on your back and throw strikes from the bottom. You got to work to get up, you got to work to get to the fence, and you've got to work for sweeps. She didn't go for like a single sweep that I can recall. She might have once or twice, but right now I can't recall. She really didn't try to work to get up. She didn't, try to, scoot her way over to the fence to work to get up. Anytime she was on her back, she was basically content to be on her back and just throw, short punches or throw elbows up. That is not going to win you a fight. I'm sorry. It's just not. You're a striker. You're not that good off your back. You're not going for submissions. You got to work to get back up. So she's got to work on her takedown defense, and she's got to work on getting back up. Because otherwise, she's going to lose a lot more fighters, because this is, I think, the third time she's been really exposed. She's, I kind of called her a proto Wmma, but she doesn't have the boxing that Wmma does. She doesn't have the takedown defense Wmma does. She doesn't have the ability to get back up that Wmma does. So she's got to work on all of those. All right, for fights to make. For Rodriguez, I'd like to see her against the loser of Hill versus Watterson, because loser of that fight is probably going to be outside the top 10. And up till now, Rodriguez has never faced anybody ranked below her. She's always moved up. So now I think that she should face a loser of another fight and have to fight down, defend her spot. So loser of Hill versus Watterson. Or Amanda Hebos was calling out the winner of this fight. Well, she hasn't even gotten a number next to her name, or she hasn't beaten anyone with a number next to her name. So why should we give her someone who is ranked firmly in the top 10? I say give her let's do Rodriguez versus Hebos. Winner gets that number 9 spot. I still think that's a little bit much more than Hebos really deserves at this time. But I think it makes more sense to give her the loser of this fight than the winner, considering she's never beaten a ranked opponent. So Rodriguez versus Hebos would be another one. For Esparza, she called out the winner of Yan versus Gadelha. I am fine with that. She wants that rematch with Gadelha. Esparza thinks that she won that first fight, deserved to win it. I thought so myself. If Gadelha wins, and they were already calling each other out before, I say give them that fight. Or if Yan wins, if Yan Xiaonan wins, then you have Yan Xiaonan, who's firmly in the top 10, and her takedown defense hasn't been tested at all in the UFC. You got someone who hasn't really beaten anyone ranked, and then she's another one getting a big step up in competition. I think Yan really needs her takedown defense tested before she can get into these upper echelons, and Esparza is definitely a fighter who will test her takedown defense. I think that's a very nice fight as well. So Esparza versus the winner of Yan versus Gadelha, I think would be a good one. All right, so those are my thoughts on this fight. Now, before this fight happened, Dana White had said that the winner of this is likely to get in the running for a title shot against Weili Zhang, because Rose's nose is messed up and she's not gonna be able to fight for a while. And let's see, what's her name? Suarez is out for the time being, and Sarov's out for the time being. So, but honestly, I don't see Esparza getting the title shot off of this fight. I think that was mostly if Rodriguez goes in there and beats the crap out of the former champ, boom, perfect storyline to get her in there against the current champ. I don't see Esparza getting this title shot, not off of a very close win. More than likely, that title shot's going to be the Zhang versus Wmma rematch more than anything. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. Of course, likes are always appreciated, and if you like the video, please share it as well. Spread the word. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMAC Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.